John Doyle from OptixEQ, and today I'm going to look at a race with a plot fit of red. I get a lot of questions about these types of races. How do you handicap them? What do you do? Do you toss them? And so forth. First thing I'll say is that not all red plot fit races are the same. Some have horses where you can't plot, like half the field because they're first time starters, that they haven't tried a surface and distance, or whatever. This one is not the case. Every horse has been plotted. This is just some confusion, I guess, in terms of recent form and so forth, that these horses just don't plot because they're in and outers, kind of horses that aren't in top-notch form. And you see the field, it's a low-level claiming race at Belmont with a lot of older horses, and they kind of go in and out of form. So they're kind of sometimes difficult to plot, their current form. But sometimes a plot fit of red you can use to either assess favorites or upgrade and downgrade certain horses. And that's what I'm going to try to do here, okay? So the first thing I notice is the contention is a snowflake, and the speed rating is, average. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the RPM. And you see there's really a light early pace balance here in terms of run styles. Only the number 4 and number 5 have demonstrated early run styles in their recent form. The rest are really pressers or closer types, horses coming off the pace. So I would say that balance favors the 4 and the 5. So that's something that I was, interested in. And then when I looked over at the odds of the horses, I noticed the 4 and 5 are the longest shots at 12 and 12 to 1, while two of the closers, Mills is 5 to 2 and Curlin Road is 2 to 1. And if you look at Mills' is standard plot, it's a circle in quadrant 4. So to me, that's a real negative already. And that horse, that's kind of a downgrade just looking at the plot even before I get to his form. Okay, the 3 plot's a little bit better, than the 1. But just in a race like this where there's low contention, presser closers are kind of vulnerable in this kind of spot. So we're going to look at it a little bit closely. And I also want to look at the 4 and the 5 because the 5 plots very well on standard. And the 4 plots pretty well on surface and distance. He's kind of hidden behind here. And if you want to highlight the horse's name on the run lines, you get to see the little circles get highlighted with blue. He's behind that 6, so he plots fairly well in this race in the surface distance. Again, 2 horses with a different run style from the rest of the field, so I want to kind of look at them. Okay, let's go into the grid and let's first look at the favorites. I'm going to start with Mills because he's the number 1 horse. He's the second choice. He ran a big race coming off a 90-day layoff, okay, at 50,000 at Saratoga. It was a 2-turn, 9-furlong race, and he overcame trouble to run a good second. Well, why they put him back in for 20,000? Well, he's a 9-year-old. I think they picked him up for around that price. They think they probably can get an easy win here. I don't know. I mean, just the horse hasn't won since 2017. So I'm a little bit dubious, especially with the plot in the speed figure. I did look at 2 races. I think that came out of that, and the figure was, the horses that came back around ran less of a figure. So this figure may be a little inflated. And if it's not, it's like one of the bigger figures he's run in a long time. So maybe some regression is in the cards for him. Again, at any short price is a horse that you probably want to be taking a shot against. The number 3 is the other favorite, and it's actually the morning line favorite, is Curlin Road, a dropper for Rodriguez and Rapoli. They put Saez on. Saez is more of a gate rider, so I'm wondering if the intention is to go to the front or try to go to the front, but I don't see how that's possible. This horse has been running, much longer, hasn't shown much speed recently, is dropping, but even his races at 25 have been not great. I mean, he's okay. Just, again, not a horse that you want to take at short odds. And the one thing I'll notice, too, this horse has started his career in Southern California, and his first race was a sprint, 1-turn race, 8. He finished 8th. The other 1-turn race he had was at Belmont back on the 17th, roughly at this level, and ran kind of a dull 5th. So, again, is this a horse you want to be taking a short price on, a horse with lack speed? Again, if with the intent was to put Saez on him and get him out to the front, maybe, but I'm not quite sure that's going to happen. So we're going to take a shot against him too. So let's look at the 2 horses that I thought looked pretty okay. I mean, just based from a plot perspective in a race with a red plot fit. Play that funny music. This horse just recently ran a 9 furlongs in versus better, had no finish. But if you'd really just kind of look at this horse's recent dirt form, he's kind of changed barns too in recently. And he had some good dirt form earlier in his career. You see that all firsts and seconds, at Finger Lakes, an allowance company, even at Aqueduct. And then he kind of tailed off earlier this year. And it looks like he might be coming back into form. He has run 2 good races. Was second at this level, a third above this level, even though it was a no finish. He was running against better and going 9 furlongs. The barn, if you look at trainer jockey, and by the way, you can bring up, if you just hit V-bar comparisons, you can bring up the V-bars here, the sliding bars. And you look at the meet, trainer meet win percentage, the highest one is number 5. So this barn has been having a good, quiet meet, and this horse might be coming back into form. Plots well standard. Hey, worth a shot at 12-1 to be getting in the mix. And the other horse that I thought, again, at a big price based on the plot and the race flow, is the 4. Now this horse, again, running for much better, terrible effort. First time for the new barn, Canizio. The races before that were all turf. If you take a look at this horse's dirt routes, though, they're not bad. And in fact, this horse, in 2 occasions, you could see that this horse won, the 2 occasions that this horse won with big figures, where he's forwardly placed. That's what we're expecting, especially with the jockey change. We're expecting this horse to be on or near the lead. So if he can duplicate those 2 efforts, or any of those efforts, this horse is going to could end up in the winner's circle, and again, 12-1 in the morning line. So a very interesting horse. He's got some back class, and in a race where it's chaotic, it's not bad to take a shot. So you can take your red plot races and try to be a little bit creative, and hopefully it pays off, and hopefully this one will pay off for you. This is, again, race 5 at Belmont tomorrow, September the 25th, Wednesday.